This is the Spokane Soccer Show, proudly presented by Flatstick Pub, and I am your host, Benji Wade. Joining me to serve up only the best vibes about all things soccer in the fine city of Spokane for the special edition New Year's Eve episode of 2025. It's my friend, Mike Policio. And for this special edition, if you're watching on YouTube, you will notice there's another human being in the room. It's only fitting that we have a special guest. You may know him as the host of Bearded Trivia. You may know him as the coach of both the boys and girls Rogers High School soccer teams. I know him as a great friend of the Spokane Soccer Show. It's Mike Duke. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is awesome. You nailed that.
We're caught between two mics.
Well, it's not between
not two ferns. I know it's because I refuse to sit in the middle because that's just how I am. I'm a particular boy. I have my tastes and preferences and they must be met. You have so much of a soccer story that I swear when I first got introduced to you through social media, Instagram specifically, it was for trivia.
Yeah, it's the two things. I guess I always tell people I have a face, and it's somebody will be like, I know you. And I'm like, it's from one of these two things.
Yeah.
So yeah, trivia is just something that I've done for forever. Before it was like a thing at every single bar in the country. I did it just kind of grassroots. And then I moved over here with my now wife in 2016.
From where?
I'm from the west side of the state. So I grew up in a small town on Whidbey Island. And then I lived in Bellingham for a bunch of years. And moved over here and just kind of went door to door, try to get trivia going. And it's just kind of kept building. Wait, didn't you tell me you started doing trivia, or maybe you continued doing trivia during the pandemic? Yeah. How do you get paid during a pandemic? You make everything digital. So originally it was paper handouts and that kind of thing. And but Lumberbeard was super kind to me. I started doing a second trivia night at Lumberbeard in 2019, 2020, February of 2020.
Oh, right before everything ended.
Before. So I did two events and then the world shut down.
I have to imagine most people have to know you through trivia because you do like every night of the week, for crying out loud.
3 nights a week. For a while it was 4.
Feels like every night of the week.
It does. Yeah, my wife would agree with you.
Dude.
I make the joke every week that like, my job's better than yours. Like it's a lot of fun. Like I get to go and hang out with, it's usually always good vibes. There's always the occasional knucklehead. But it's great vibes.
Mike, Mike Policio, have you been going and wrecking these? Have you been crashing these? You had a guilty look on your face.
He's been threatening to for a while.
You are the knucklehead at trivia, Benji. That's why.
So I need to go do this because I think I'm kind of a general trivia person. I tend to keep a lot of dumb things in my brain, whether I want to or not.
I send you the occasional question.
You did.
Anything soccer related, I'll snap a picture of it at Flatstick. Come see me on
You
Thursday
sent me a question about the first 2 cup winners for the history of the MLS. And the only reason I knew that is because DC United. I thought I was going to be a DC United fan because I'm a Washington Commanders fan, former Redskins fan, whatever. And it did not stick. I could not get into the MLS. I never have been able to. Everyone who knows this podcast knows my feelings about the MLS.
Well, there's so much soccer though. I think that's the biggest thing. And that's why I appreciate like Spokane, like with this different league is like, you can be an MLS fan and follow that, or you can just go in your backyard and follow this league.
Which is what everybody should be doing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't even pay attention. Here I am wearing my 1998, 1999 away shirt for Newcastle United. I don't pay as much attention to even Newcastle these days because of this. This is so much more gratifying, rewarding. I get to walk into that stadium. I really do already miss going into one stadium. I didn't know, again, that you were a high school coach for Rogers until I think you reached out at one point. Something about trying to get some kids from the team to come down and, tickets or whatever. Did I know anybody? Whatever. And then I think there was a meet and greet event at the stadium.
Yeah.
And I participated in that and got to meet some of your players.
It was the thing with...
But that was the boys team. I did not know you were also coaching the girls. That was the boys team,
yes. Yeah. So I've done both so I started with the boys JV in 2017.
Okay.
I was the an unpaid JV boys assistant under a guy that had been doing it for a very long time, but had no real soccer knowledge. So he was like, yeah, come help me out. I don't know anything. And I was like, sweet, I want to get into coaching.
Yeah.
In between that, I was hired as the girls assistant. So at Rogers, we only have a varsity team for the girls. So I was the varsity assistant, then JV boys head coach, then the head coach for the varsity team, boys varsity team left. New head coach hired me on as the assistant coach. Another year went by. The girls coach left. I got the job as the varsity girls coach. And then the boys coach left the year 2021 after the COVID season. And I got the job as the varsity boys head coach. So
now you're doing both.
Now I'm doing both.
And you teach.
I'm in school. So I was a para-educator at Rogers.
Okay.
So teacher, assistant, helper.
Yeah.
That was my quote unquote day job, help pay for benefits basically.
Yeah.
And then so I'm during all of this, I'm also in school to get my teaching degree. So I'm currently student teaching and will be done March 3rd. So the second day of tryouts for the high school season, I will be wrapping up my student teaching.
So
where are you finishing that? Sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah.
I'm finishing it at Shadle Park.
Makes
Shadle
Mike
Park.
very proud.
My wife's a Shadle Park grad as well. Was in the same class with Chris Dunn, with the principal.
Oh gosh.
So we have lots of ties to Shadle. So it's hard for me to hate on Shadle as a Rogers guy. But now you're 3A, so I can like you guys again.
So you have an enormous amount of energy being put into these three different endeavors, but they all kind of have an interesting overlap with one another about teaching, about learning. The trivia side is really fascinating to me. I need to go. It's especially the fact that shout out Flat Stick. That's your Thursday nights?
Thursday night, 7:30.
Do you guys want to get to some Spokane Soccer Show shout outs? We're going to do this together. Okay, we have to start here. We've done this a couple episodes already, but they kept going. Shout out University of Washington men's soccer team, former Spokane Shadow teammates Jade Boughton, Kenny Pierpoint. The Huskies are the 2025 NCAA national champions, winning their first ever title following a thrilling 3-2 overtime victory against North Carolina State, sealed by Harrison Bertos's golden goal in a historic tournament run as an unseeded team.
That's the big one.
It's really insane what they just pulled off.
It's crazy. And yeah, like you touched on, a couple of 509 guys on that team. I remember coaching against Jaden at Ferris. Super great kid. So it's awesome to see.
Wait, did you say he's from Sandpoint?
Nope, that's Kai Longenecker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Ferris, right?
I get, dude, there's too many shadow stud goalkeepers. I can't keep them all straight, and we're going to bring up another one in just a moment. But,
shout out Brian Hernandez.
Dude, let's go. Speaking of Spokane Shadow, shout out 17-year-old Ridgeline High School and Spokane Shadow goalkeeper Aliana Vakalaloma, a.k.a. Al, for being signed to Zephyr FC as their first ever academy contract signing. This is very similar to what happened with Rocky Wells, who was signed to Velocity FC as their first ever academy contract signing. This is very awesome. So Al's a Spokane Shadow goalkeeper. Can you talk a little bit about her, Mike?
Yeah. Al's been playing goalkeeper for a long time. She got sometimes you get roped into it and you're like, why the hell are you playing goalkeeper?
Yeah, totally.
It's like a life of horrible decisions and all that. So she was right from the start playing goalkeeper as a really young kid. Her brothers, Caleb and Isaiah, had come through the club as well. So the family's very much a soccer family. Al, I just always would see her at the field training and working hard. And it's no surprise that now she is being given lots of opportunities with the Fijian national team. Yep. And with the Spokane Zephyr. So congratulations to Al.
Congratulations to Al. Yeah, she's called up quite a few times to play for the Fiji international setup. So really, really cool.
She missed a big chunk of the high school season, I think this year and last year, to be with Fiji.
Okay.
So that's disruptive, but you kind of allow players to go for international duty as a high school head coach.
Oh, it's huge.
I haven't had that issue yet.
I haven't. And if I had, I would be a rare instance where I would be like, just please stay with us. We got to have those numbers.
Yeah, seriously. Do you two have any shout outs?
I do.
Okay.
I would like to shout out another national champion from Spokane. Do you know about this yet?
No.
Okay. There's a player named James Gunn. He is
not the director.
Nope, there's also a director named James Gunn. Yes. James is at Tufts University.
Okay.
They just Boston. Yeah, there we go. They just won a D3 national championship. He is a former Shadow men's first team player. And I didn't know the conditions under which they won their championship. I just checked and went, great, they won. James played 80 minutes, but I ran into him at the grocery store. He said they were down 1-0. With that, ridiculous counting clock in college soccer.
Oh, right.
With 4 seconds left, his teammate hit an off his left foot, off the bouncer and a full volley into the top corner to send it to overtime. And then when that happens to you, you usually lose in overtime.
Yeah.
So Tufts took care of it pretty quickly in overtime, kind of like UW. But anyways, pretty remarkable.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to shout out the two biggest Zephyr fans I know.
Let's go.
I thought, so Holland and Charlotte, kids of a buddy of mine, and they're at every single game, screaming their heads off, pictures after every game, autographs after every game. Holland is maybe the most legendary trash talker that's ever existed. Elegant when she does it, but hilarious. And I would be remiss if I wasn't on the Spokane Soccer Show and didn't shout out to Spokane soccer fans.
Wait, how do you know these kids?
They are my buddy's daughters,
okay.
Who I used to coach with at Rogers.
Yeah.
He was the assistant and then the varsity head coach for the boys that brought me up to be the assistant. He's a PA at North Central now. So yeah, shout out to your kids, Mark.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Speaking of shout outs, shout out Freeform Spaces. All of this furniture that we're using right now came from Freeform, whether it is a private office, a home office, workspace, anywhere you go in your life to be more productive. I'm putting that in air quotes, and wonder, could I do this just a bit more comfortably, maybe more efficiently, maybe more effectively? Thank you, Mike Duke, for advertising how great this furniture is that you're sitting on right now.
So good. Look at, go up, go down.
These chairs go up and down. Not most chairs don't do that. This is an invention that came from Freeform. So that's why you got to get in touch with them right now. I just brought home my Hayworth chair that my friend Fernando gave to me as part of this whole thing. And I took it home to use it over the Christmas break. I do not think I'm bringing it back down here because it's too comfortable. Anyway, go to freeformspaces.com. Tell them I sent you. Talk to my friend Fernando and get yourself set up with some furniture that's more comfortable and let you be more effective and productive. The Spokane Soccer Show is supported by Spokane City Credit Union. It is one of my New Year's resolutions to get more people, including me, to stop keeping their money where, Mike?
Big dumb banks.
In big dumb banks. I am proud to be sponsored by Spokane City Credit Union, in part because Spokane City's right there in the name. They love Spokane just as much as I do. And in 2026, we will, of course, be doing the Greater Spokane Park Challenge once more. So stay tuned for updates on that. Once upon a time, credit unions were wisely described as not for profit, not for charity, but for service. I even put that in all caps to let you know that I meant it. And SCCU still holds that philosophy today, and they mean it. At a bank, you're just a customer. At a credit union, you're both a member and a shareholder. To learn more about Spokane City Credit Union, go to sccu.net today. Since we last recorded a podcast, I'm talking to you, Mike Policio, but I can't wait to hear from you, Mike Duke. Zephyr FC played their last fall game of the schedule, so they will now have a winter break that will last until the end of January. More on that later. And it was against a club that I don't like.
Well, I can't beat them. So
That's right. We can't beat them. And this is not about their players. It's just something about that club that I don't particularly love.
The state of Florida.
The state of Florida may have something to do with it. Fort Lauderdale itself. We have had a couple draws against this team, and they knocked us out of the playoffs last year. They made Amina Ekic cry. Like, I don't like that. I walked up to Amina after the game. This is right after she was on the podcast, and I was like, oh no. I was like, she's really upset. And I'm like, I am just a dork with a microphone trying to make a podcast. I don't know how to respond in this moment. And I was like, hey, that's okay. Incredible year. But you did that, Fort Lauderdale. Well, none of that matters. You know why? We finally pinned an L on FTL. Zephyr FC 3, Fort Lauderdale 1. Mike Policio, you don't look nearly as excited as you should be about this result. You and I were texting real time on this game. Michael Duke, where did you watch this game?
I watched the end of it actually at a Christmas party live.
Nice.
But then at Charlotte and Holland's house. How about that?
Okay.
Shout out again.
Yep.
But then I watched, in preparation for today, I watched it while ignoring some of my family last night. They didn't just beat them. It wasn't close. Aside from Princess is her name. She kind of dominated us.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think it was very close.
And a lot of that stuff you're talking about came in garbage time anyway, which we'll come back to. Mike, I was at my daughter's gymnastics competition and texting with you during this game and then trying to watch like 5 or 10 minutes at a time in between the routines that were happening because there's like 4 events. It's a floor, bars, vault, beam. And in between each one of those, I was like right back onto Peacock trying to check in on what was happening, but also feeling like really angsty about it. I wanted this win so bad. Talk to me, broad strokes. What did you see in this game, Mike Policio, before we get into the details?
Saw one team playing soccer.
Oh,
that was us.
Fair.
So Fort Lauderdale just didn't seem like they were nearly as organized, nearly as up for it. And we absolutely, hammered them for, nearly the whole game, but really like, to the 60, 65th, somewhere in there when we had a sending off. But we were a lot better than them. We knew what we wanted to do. You could clearly see the philosophy taking shape.
Within 10 seconds, you could tell like, oh.
They gave up that initial run on the opening kickoff.
Yeah.
After that, it was balls to the wall for the entire first half. They didn't touch it. It was, I like that style of soccer. I like just put your foot on their throat and go.
Totally.
Especially when it's working. And they looked like that is a style that they could maintain. At least for the first half, because it didn't stop.
Let's talk about the setup. Sophie Braun was restored to the 6, which meant that Haley Thomas technically was starting at right back again instead of Charlie Boone. However, Mike Policio, tell me what you saw in this setup and the approach from Nicole Lukic, because I was wondering whether or not she would play 3 at the back again. And I kind of feel like I saw that certainly in certain phases of play. So tell me what you saw.
First of all, I've said it before, but I love that the formation doesn't really matter. Our team shape is amorphous and changes game to game, sometimes, situation to situation. So I think Haley was playing right back, and then she tucked in like another 6.
Yeah. When
we were in transition moments or when the ball was on the weak side as part of our rest defense, which is like big shout out to Haley that she's able to do so many roles so well. And if you're wondering, like, is she uncomfortable in those positions? Like, not at all.
Not at all. What is this with Haley Thomas playmaker thing? I did not have that in my bingo cards for 2025. Like, it's pretty crazy. She's really effective at playmaking. Yeah. I mean, I can remember her pinging some pretty good balls over the top last year to, like, one in particular, an assist to a goal by Amina Ekic against Lexington here at One Stadium, but not a lot of that intricate play in midfield, like linking up with teammates. Like, I did not know she had that in her game. It's crazy.
She's absolutely like thriving at the moment with
seriously
the new changing of the guard with the coach, but the style of plays changed a little, and I think that she's been a big beneficiary of that.
And looking at the heat map, very narrow again. In fact, narrower than the Lexington game, which you and I talked about a lot. It's like play through the middle if you can. And I've been desperate for both Zephyr FC and Velocity FC, for that matter, to play more through midfield, and we're doing it. Like, it's really, really crazy. Was it like one of those things where when we had the ball, it was a back 3? Because the thing I was wondering about, just looking at the shape of the team in the Fort Lauderdale game, but carrying over from the Lexington result, it feels a lot like this is a reliance on the solidity of Reese Tappen. Reese is basically sitting in a stopper position right in front of Hope. And it's like, cool, I've played right back, so I'll just head out there if I have to help out if Haley's tucked in. But otherwise, I'm just going to make sure that nothing gets past me. And she just sits right in front of Hope in both of those games.
I wouldn't say that when we had the ball, it was a back 3 necessarily. I would just say that under certain conditions, Haley tucked in to be another 6.
Okay.
But Reese is a big part of it.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of trivia, am I doing a good job of trivia right now?
Uh-oh.
Who do you think has completed the most passes in the Super League?
And by a distance.
Damn it. So you already know. So I'm doing a terrible job at trivia. And also anyone picking up on the context clues, it's Reese Tappen.
It's my job to know this anyway.
But Sarah's third.
Over 900 passes completed or something like that is what I saw.
Insane.
And Sarah's in third, which is not far behind.
Oh, and I think Reese is first in clearances?
Man, I didn't check all that.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts.
But yeah, Reese has been absolutely phenomenal for us on both sides of the ball.
Haley is playmaker, really fascinating. She seems to love the role. Let's talk about the first goal. happened in minute 5. Didn't take very long. Fort Lauderdale, oh God, trying to play out from the back. It is a complete mess. The center half, her name is Laurel Ansbro. She's carrying the ball into midfield. She has the option to pass to her pivot, Taylor Smith, but instead she turns back toward her keeper, Bella O'Hara, who I think after this just was shell-shocked for the rest of the game. She looks really uncomfortable. This is where everything starts to fall apart for Fort Lauderdale, and it's in minute 5.
I was going to say 5 minutes in.
Yeah, dude. She gives the ball to Madison McComiskey, who's the right back, and I think they were playing kind of a back 3 for sure. Would you agree with that? With wing backs?
Their formation was a little amorphous as well. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not sure that I would call it a back 3.
Sure.
But the wide players, the players providing the width offer different height.
Okay, yeah.
Times,
which is similar to us, actually. Mm-hmm. McComiskey has this body language that suggests, why are you passing it to me? She gives it right back to the goalkeeper. Emma Jaskinik's watching this whole thing transpire, and she's like, this is a debacle. She bears down on both players, which totally unsettles the keeper. She gives the ball up from pressure. The ball pings around the box a couple times between swarming Zephyr players and spills to the top of the box where Cam Tucker sizes it up. She sees that the goalkeeper hasn't quite retreated. She's really just in no man's land, and side foots it, knuckles into the back of the net, and it's 1-0 at minute 5. And they almost scored another goal after the restart. They were not letting up. I mean, I think that's the way, if I had to just describe the Zephyr performance in a phrase, it'd be never letting up. You can see smiles on Zephyr players too. They're just hungry as hell for this game. They've never beaten Fort Lauderdale. It's the team that put us out of playoffs, and they looked like in the first 10 minutes, there's no shot we're going home without the win here. We're going to get all 3 points.
Well, they were quick in the box with it too. Like you said, she made that, I forget all names, J last name.
Jaskinik?
Yes.
Yeah.
Her awareness to just pounce on that, like you said, is such a disruption in the box when nobody is wanting to take control and just get the ball the hell out of there or find someone's foot. To hit that first touch, again, just the awareness to just be like, this is going to be the opportunity for me to score. You've hit that shot from the 18 a million times with or without a keeper. There's no keeper there.
Totally.
Just rip it.
Yeah. We talk about that extra touch all the time, and I never want to second guess players, but in general, I kind of agree with the observation that it's get the effort off your foot first and foremost, sometimes, especially in a moment like that when you've got Fort Lauderdale in complete 6s and 7s. Minute 8, great link-up play between Lena Solano and Ginger Fontenot. Beautiful stuff that ends with a ball that's played in for Fontenot, just out of reach. 10 minutes into the game, I believe the expression that we're all thinking, and that I did get a text from Mike, and I'll take this out of the podcast if you don't want me to keep it, but you said, we are shitting all over Fort Lauderdale. The confidence of how Zephyr are moving the ball around those first 20 minutes is just delicious. And I love that you said it, Mike Duke. Minute 17, I have a note about what you just described. Very quick, decisive ball movement. Emma to Haley, corner of the box. Haley is instinctual. She's decisive. She takes one quick touch, finds Sophie at the top of the box. Sophie gets a wicked hit of the ball. Dips, curls just outside the frame. She had the keeper beat for sure.
Yeah, I wrote great reaction. There's so many people in that box. You got to just hit it from there. And she did. She hit it with confidence. It just didn't find the back of the net. It was that's what you want to see. Yeah. You want to see those productive misses as it is.
So many players just playing some of their best stuff. Sophie looks really, really confident right now. She's in the top 10 in the league for chances created. Minute 25, great weighted pass from Fontenot from Lena Solano, who tracked back to link play. A part of Lena's game that I think is a little underexplored. I'd like to see her do that a little bit. I think there's opportunities for it, and it's getting more crisp. And it's something that I feel like we talked a little bit about her performance against Lexington. She's in this we think she's probably better as a second striker, but she's our only center forward player that we think can play center forward right now. So more on some additions that are coming to the team in a moment. Another great game from Ginger Fontenot. Mike, do you have anything you want to add, Mike Policio, about Ginger Fontenot's play? Because I've been very impressed with her the last few weeks.
Yeah, Ginger's doing everything that her coach is asking.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what Nicole's asking, but I know that she's doing everything that she's being asked because she's thriving in the system. And while she's not scoring goals and getting assists, which is something you want from an attacking player, 7, 11, 10, 9, you want those things. She cannot be taken off the field. And there's a very clear reason that Nicole would know much better than all of us. But I've been in these scenarios as a coach where I'm like, well, this guy's going in. where this girl's starting here.
Totally.
And she's got 0 goals in X amount of games, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because she's doing so many things that fit with the team's game model.
She does. She seems like she's one of the first names on the team sheet for Nicole Lukic. Another great game out of her. And she's starting to look just super comfortable. She gets involved with virtually all phases. And I kind of thinking to myself on the way down here, you know, a player is doing a lot when you are consistently taking notes about their involvement in these games. And I have like 10, I've written Ginger's name like 10 different times and it's coming up again. Minute 32, FTL is trying to play out from the back again and it's very awkward. Lena Solano sees pressure from Ginger Fontenot, anticipates a pass back to a Fort Lauderdale center half. She intercepts it very cleverly. She's in on goal, 1v1. No idea why she decides to go back post, but she misses pretty badly. There's no way that keeper makes the save there. If she gets this thing on frame, it's going to be probably 2-0. Stuff of nightmares for Lena Solano, but she's not done yet. Minute 40, the midfield run that starts on the touchline for Cam Tucker. We've talked about this. It's my favorite thing from Zephyr FC this year. She did it a couple times against, was it Carolina? And it really hurt them. And she had that great threaded ball for one of the best goals of the year from Tori Zierenberg. This time she had Fort Lauderdale totally flat-footed. It leads to a cross from Sophie back into the box with Cam Tucker, the intended target, but it's like shoulder high. Do you guys remember this moment? And I'm like Sophie's cross was just it was not quite to the feet, not quite to the head, and Cam Tucker, it was really quick, so Cam Tucker just kind of shouldered it. Minute 44, a ball played over the top into the box from Kelsey Euler following a corner from Zephyr FC. It's Reese Tappan is still up top. I had to look back at this play. I was like, why is Reese up there? I was like, oh, it's because it was a corner kick. She's still up there because the corner, she and a defender are competing for Kelsey's ball. It kind of spills second ball to Felicia Knox, who takes it down off her chest. And the keeper, Fort Lauderdale's keeper, Bella Hara, seems
lost.
Pretty confused. She barely recognizes the danger before sort of falling over, maybe diving for it. The ball ends up in the back of the net without so much as a whisper on it from Hara. When I was a kid, guys, I'm going to tell you a little story time. Ooh. My coach, Giovanni Pagano, who grew up in Uruguay of Italian descent, he always wanted us to do this when I first started playing competitive soccer. He's like, bounce the ball. He just said this over and over again. He really encouraged a technique where you get over top of it. You organize your hips in a way that makes it so that you get over top of that ball and you generate topspin. Because he's like, there's no goalkeepers at this age who know what to do when that ball bounces in front of them. And this was a moment like that. But the difference being I was 12 years old and this is professional soccer. So a moment that we know Bella Hara would love to have back because it did not look like there was any reason why that went into the goal.
No, that was the kind of play where you like armchair expert and go like, I could have made that save. Dude. Even though probably you don't, but it wasn't hit with much force. It wasn't particularly in a hard spot to get to. It
must have been funky. It must have been just hit not quite hard enough. And then maybe she thought her defender was, I don't know, but it went in. And I know Felicia Knox will take it.
I think Felicia getting it off her chest and then shooting that quickly.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhat unnerving to a goalkeeper because you don't always expect that players, when they have that ambition to bring it down and hit it like that, they're not always going to get it done.
Yeah.
And my guess is the goalkeeper didn't get set, didn't do all the things ready, and sorry, tough luck.
I wrote, love the confidence and urgency to just hit that. Like you said, it's an uncomfortable position to be in, but hit it. See what happens.
It's probably the moment to talk about Felicia. She's playing against her former team. There's a story there. She's very glad to be playing in Spokane, I think. And look, she was very motivated, and this found her in the finest form of her brief so far career with Zephyr FC.
Is capable of, and then you see it in the second half, and you're like, where was this? We're now down 2-0. Felicia Knox against her former club serves it out to Fontenot. Fontenot! Testera!
Bella Hara needed a moment like this to make a big save. Ginger Fontenot, who's been involved all match, rips a shot.
And now she looks like a player that, again, like we were talking about with Ginger Fontenot, Felicia Knox is nailed into the starting 11 for this team now. She is balling out right now.
Big time. I don't know that we have another player who could have gotten that shot off that quickly as well, like from a technical perspective. And I think Felicia playing as a 10 or as an 8, or if we have a diamond and she's a shuttler on one side of the diamond, I think she's really helpful in all those scenarios.
All around, very good. Kind of I wouldn't say box to box in terms of her work rate or anything like that, but just technique wise, an all-around solid midfielder that can play all the different positions. Of course, burying the lead, there's not been a more important player to this team than Emma Jeskinik. She, again, was probably the most important player on the pitch. Work rate, endeavor, chances created, just physicality, all those things that we love about Emma. She is just like, I think, at the peak of her form as a player for us. Minute 54, Mike Policio. I know you have notes about this because you texted me. I looked at it. There's a goal disallowed on a corner for Fort Lauderdale. The referee thought that forward Kiara Locklear had set a pick, an illegal pick on Hope Heisey. I watched it a few times. I can kind of see why she threw her butt out into Hope. And I think that's what doomed her with the ref. What did you think? You did not think it was a foul. Did you change your mind?
Here's what I think.
I can tell he's going to stick to whatever.
Of course. I don't change my mind ever. I'm a man.
Oh, God. Exactly.
I actually did watch it very closely after our text conversation.
Okay.
And I don't even remember what I said to you in text, but I think I said, I don't know that there's much there.
Okay.
I see why the referee might have called it now. I appreciate the clarity because if you look at the referee, she says 20. I'm a lip reader now. And then she says, to the girl.
She did. She was like, I saw it.
She knew exactly what she was calling.
You said a pick. Yeah.
I don't think there's a foul there, though.
If it was we got lucky.
Goalkeepers get so much protection.
Totally. Too much.
This is the point where I would be like, referee, you jumped the shot.
Dude, especially a player who's known for going high and recovering balls and punching balls. Like Hope is so good at that. So to give her even more insulation from a play like that is it's putting a lot on that Fort Lauderdale's attack.
Yep, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't a foul.
Was not
a foul.
There we go.
Yeah.
Can we speak about how they got that corner and how they should have scored prior to that? Because Haley Thomas.
Haley's incredible defending. Go. You have the floor.
The player got through on the left, the sub who come in. So she was fresh and she went around Reese. Mm-hmm. And then as she got into that like prime assist zone, box cross area where you have that cutback that the goalkeeper can't do anything about. Mm-hmm. Haley was the player that recovered, came over. She closed her down. She took away the cutback, dared her to put it across like in the six though, where the goalkeeper might have a play. And then Haley kept her like feet close to one another so she could shoot her leg out and block that cross at the perfect time. That's the kind of stuff that gets you 3 points.
Absolutely.
Like, moments like that.
Agree. Minute 67, Zephyr FC put the game out of reach. It's a free kick from Sarah McCoy. Felicia Knox gets her hat on the ball, almost scores her second goal. But Bellahara, hey, credit where due. She makes a great save on that. Unfortunately for Bellahara, it results in a corner kick. And from that corner, looks a little like a design play to me. Sophie plays the ball low to the corner of the penalty area. Emma streaks across to get a touch, which I think is meant to be an attempt on goal, but it ends up playing a little bit more like a dummy for Lena Solano, who I didn't double check this, so Lena, don't get mad at me if this isn't true. I thought you kind of shinned it, but it was perfect. Tucks in off the far post. Lena has been due, and she gets one. Her fourth goal of the year. It's 3-0. Any thoughts on that play?
She earned that one. She had, like you said, a missed opportunity.
Totally.
She wasn't going to miss that one.
No, dude, in a couple
even
games.
Even if she did shin that one, dude, she was going to find the back of the net.
She had the 1v1 that she went back post, should have buried that. She had that goal that we loved, and we loved the fact that she took it when she did and didn't take an extra touch. Speaking of extra touches, that went in off the top of the post against Lexington, and you could tell Lena really celebrated this one. She had earned it. She has been playing quite well. The game's basically over at this point. The only thing that made the rest of the game a little spicy for Zephyr FC were the 2 yellow cards for Ginger Fontenot that led to Zephyr FC playing with 10 for the last 25 minutes. Mike, do you remember these?
I do. I think they were both yellows, unfortunately.
I do too, dude.
I was actually texting you to say like, cool.
You were.
Like, certainly at this point, now all we do is like, not give me cards, but I couldn't get the text out. Ginger made, I guess, just a slight mistake and got punished for it.
Yeah, the first one was she actually didn't get the booking for the foul that she committed because I think the ref was kind of like, oh, she just must have lost her head. But she did get the foul for kicking the ball away. But it was the same exact foul 5 minutes later in minute 69. This time she just like, again, second time, she kind of wraps her hands around a player and holds back or impedes her progress. And like, you can't do that. It's very professional foul looking. in fairness to Ginger, did not seem to protest. She kind of knew. She was a little bit like shaking her head like, oh man, like I got caught. But she didn't look like she was upset with the decision from the ref. And I don't think she should have been. And this is why I have to ignore. Shout out the Spokane Soccer Show Discord server. If you're not a member, we have a Discord server. It's in the links on my Instagram profile if you want to join our Discord server. We have a live discussion channel there. I have to ignore half the time I love our supporters and they're so great, but there's never a foul. How could that even be a yellow? It wasn't even a foul. I'm like, what?
Coming from you, Benji, you're always like, that's not how
it's like almost
ignore him.
No, there's no fouls ever against the team that you support. It's never. But I think those the kicking the ball away as a coach, is like you roll your eyes back and you're just like, dude, get the call for the aggressive play. And that wasn't necessarily overly aggressive, but she's playing the way that we were just kind of preaching about. Like she's everywhere. She's doing everything. You don't want her not on the pitch. And she plays like that even with a yellow, which again sucks, but also you love it. I don't know.
Dude, I personally hated it, and here's why. It only took Fort Lauderdale 3 minutes to score a goal with that advantage of players. And at this point, I'm pacing at my daughter Ivy's gymnastics meet. This is why I get a little OCD and weird. Fine. You all know I'm a weirdo. I'll just go ahead and tell you exactly what I did. I went back and forth, and I could tell how much time would go back if I walked back and forth in the upstairs of the gymnastics place I was at, and how much time would go by. And then I would look at FootMob again and check text from Mike. I was in that zone because I was like, we cannot possibly pull. Because guess what? The last time I remember these circumstances, you probably know what I'm going to talk about. What game?
Union Omaha.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were up 2-0. No problem. We're going to win this thing. We did not win this thing. We conceded 2 goals in the last 4 minutes of the freaking game. Anyway, we got the 3 points. I'm not even going to talk about their stupid goal because who cares? We beat you, Fort Lauderdale. Actually, I will talk about it. You know why I want to talk about it? We get caught kind of playing pretty high, kind of just playing the same way we were playing for the rest of the game with only 10 players, though. And Fort Lauderdale run a quick counter after dispossessing Felicia Knox. Kara Locklear gets out in front of it, plays it to a teammate who fumbles it, but the ball goes right back to Locklear, whose decisive touch is beyond our goalkeeper, Hope Heisey's outstretched hands. It's 3-1. The last 20 minutes, I just wanted to die, but they killed it off. We did it. We defeated FTL.
You know who gets a shout out in that?
Who gets a shout out?
We were with 10 is Tori Zierenberg.
Oh yeah, you talked about that.
She's so helpful when you're down a man.
Totally.
She's like, I'll just cover like 2 positions. It's okay. You guys just do your regular job and I'll just cover all this ground. Yeah. Yeah, she was wonderful.
Takeaways. This is exactly what we needed going into the break. A very good defensive shape from the team and discipline from Zephyr FC. This is the reason why I wanted to describe the goal that we conceded even with 10 players. We caught Fort Lauderdale offside 6 times. We catch them 7 times and we maybe keep the clean sheet. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Getting called for offside 6 times as a professional team is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Fort Lauderdale, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, I'm only bringing that up also to kind of counter your observation about the player that you thought was good, because she got a lot of those offsides called.
Well, the good attacking players are going to try and take advantage of what they think is weak, but our line wasn't weak. We kept a good defensive shape. The final XG was Fort Lauderdale 1.39, Spokane 1.25, but don't let that garbage time XG from Fort L fool you. Before Ginger was sent off, they hadn't done anything. So I guarantee you a lot of that XG came from once Ginger was sent off. Any more thoughts about this before we move on?
Yeah, so Michael know this too as a coach. All these coaches always say, yeah, we do the right thing. We try to play soccer, whatever that even means. You know what I mean? Because like soccer is soccer. But typically they're talking about playing attacking, possession-oriented soccer and risking or taking risks, taking chances, not penalizing your players when it doesn't go well. Nicole Lukic is putting her money where her mouth is. Dude. She's playing attacking-oriented soccer. She changes team shapes and formations just to mess with the opposition. Her players have the confidence to make mistakes. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but early on in her tenure, Charlie Boone gave a ball away trying to build out of the back. We conceded a goal. It did not look like a good goal. She didn't yank Charlie off. She let her play another 20 minutes before she ended up getting subbed, which was probably the plan anyways. Like, this is how it's done. If you want to develop an identity and a style of play, you do it like Nicole's doing it. So she's doing great.
You stick with your principles, certainly, until you have enough of a data set to suggest one way or the other whether you should change your mind on what you're trying to do. And managers will do that, right? But some of the early, I think, chattering criticism of what people were seeing with this team with Nicole Lukic as manager was just a total lack of patience and like, just let her do what she's doing. I knew by definitely the second game, but could see glimpses even in the first game, which we were very fortunate to win that game the way we did against Dallas, that, I can see what she's doing. And I super applaud it. And I'm super stoked about it because it's just going to lead to more joy. I know that body language can sometimes be overstated, but when you see how the smiles of these players when they are doing that quick, decisive stuff and they're playing with numbers in the box and they're just putting their foot on the neck of their opponents with high press, it just leads to so much more enthusiasm from players. I think I can see just by how much I see the players smiling, especially in this game against Fort Lauderdale, but also in the Lexington game. So
can you go in the reverse too? Do you see players on some teams, sometimes maybe our teams, but like that don't look happy at times? And you look at them and you're like, why are you even playing the sport?
Yeah.
There are games where you have that positive mentality and you lose and it doesn't feel the same way. And you, on the flip side, you're down in the dumps and you win. It's like, you should be stoked. How you carry yourself on the field. And a lot of that starts with the manager. And there's been like a big flip in, like you said, just smiles and positive vibes or whatever. As a coach, I don't maybe know as many of the like X's and O's and that kind of stuff. So I'm big on vibes. Yeah. And right now this team is vibing in the right direction.
Dude, I have to bring up an example, even with velocity. From last year, there was a game where I was really disappointed. I don't remember if I had thought about it. I could remember the specific game, but it was when our form had dipped and we had a game where we just barely showed up and it was super disappointing. It was a road game, admittedly, and it was not the Portland 6-1 game. And I remember coming on this podcast and talking about the game that happened after it. God, who was it? If I went back and looked at the history on football, I could find it. But the game where they rebounded, I remember coming in here and going, we needed this so bad. We needed that team. And it was the 10-man team that won against Naples. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying to you, we needed to see that as supporters badly because of how the attitude had been really poor in the game before it. Speaking of vibes. So yeah, it matters a lot. And right now this team's playing with so much vibes. Okay, let's talk about one more thing with Zephyr FC before we move on. USL Spokane has announced the first signing under coach Nicole Lukic, and it's reinforcement for the loss of Ali Cook to injury. I hope we're going to see Ali again in the spring. That's all I'll say about that. But I do think that is in the cards. She is recovering from a knee injury. But 5'4" forward Maya Hansen has joined the club for their spring schedule. Hansen is currently playing professionally in Iceland, where many women play in Europe when they play professionally. I will not attempt to pronounce the name of the club that she's playing for over there.
Do it.
Mike Duke will.
Dude, go. Mike, what was it? Do you remember?
No.
It's so long that they get shortened to FH. You know, people don't even try to say the name of this team.
Frugenheimer.
It's crazy. There were so many syllables. And you know me, I'll take a shot at it. I didn't even try. Before playing in Iceland, Hansen was a dominant player in college, first at South Dakota State. According to the USL Spokane website, Hansen holds the school record at South Dakota State in both goals with 44 and points 107. If you don't know how that works, it's a weird thing they do. It's like, what are we doing? Is this hockey? Come on, college soccer. Stop it. Points? All it means is you tally the number of assists, the number of goals, and that's your points. What are we doing?
Goals count as 2.
Stop. Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Whoops.
There you go.
Do they?
Trivia.
No one cares.
Wins are worth 3 too, Benji.
Yeah, oh God. And she helped her team to 2 conference championships and a pair of NCAA tournament berths. If you did not know that South Dakota State was a soccer school, well, now you do, because the truth is, it is not easy to make the tournament. So the fact that they did that twice with her is rad. Hansen's elite play earned her the 2019 Summit League Freshman of the Year and 2022 Offensive Player of the Year honors. After graduating from South Dakota State, Hansen played for Iowa University for one season as a graduate student and as a Hawkeye. The Minnesota native scored 5 goals and was named the team's co-offensive player of the year. Hansen also played with Nicole Lukic, at Minnesota Aurora, where she played very, very well and holds the franchise record for career goals with 16 and points with 38 points. Welcome to Spokane, Maya. Can't wait to see you play. The first game of the spring schedule for Zephyr FC will be in Tampa Bay on January 31st.
That's a lot of firepower to bring in. That's awesome. The familiarity with the manager too is gonna, that's A+.
I've been told there'll be another player probably announced soon.
Awesome.
We'll see. Velocity FC updates. I'm going to do this kind of quickly so that we can get to the moment everybody's been waiting for, the announcement of the Spokane Soccer Show Player of the Year. But Velocity FC updates. Congratulations, Pierre Reedy, David Garcia. Man, this one hurts, but look, I think we just have to throw this in blinking lights. All right. This is the 3rd tier currently. Until ProRel happens, until we get promoted to the top flight, we are currently in the 3rd tier. There's going to be turnover. And part of that turnover is stuff that we should just be excited about for these players. Pierre Reedy has departed Spokane to join Sacramento Republic in the USL Championship. Sacramento Republic, a very fine club, a very competitive club, a very good club. Super stoked for Pierre Reedy. Meanwhile, David is headed to the Oakland Roots. I don't think that's as great of a club. Also in the USL Championship and also in the group that will play alongside Velocity FC in next year's Interleague Cup, which won't be called Jägermeister. It'll be called Coca-Cola. It'll be called Haynes. I don't know what they're calling that cup.
I think it has a name already. I don't have the name.
I don't think it does. I don't think they have a new sponsor.
It's just called the Cup.
They're to call it the Interleague Cup, which is gross, and no one even knows what Interleague means.
There you go.
It means that we will get to see them and get to play against them. And I think both those games, unfortunately, will be away from Spokane. So we won't get to see them come back to one stadium, but we'll get to see them play. By the way, welcome to Spokane. Stop me if you guys want to say anything about Pierre and David. We know how much we love them.
I do want to say that David did tell me it's his dream to play in the USL Championship.
Totally.
So this is a move that he really wanted.
Yep.
So congrats to both of them, but also I think that especially David, that he belongs in that league.
Does.
And I think Pierre will do. We've had an off mic moment, you and me talking about this. I think Pierre will do really well in that league as well. He's already played there before.
The stuff that Pierre Reedy does translates to anywhere. Because when you have that level, that work rate, and you have that level of pace, dude, you can do that anywhere, you know. Welcome to Spokane Velocity FC, former Union Omaha winger and midfielder Joe Gallardo. This is huge. And this is kind of, I said like for like, but it's not like for like in terms of the profile of the player. They play the game very differently, but he's a wing player and he'll play. Actually, Joe Gallardo can play anywhere. I mean, if you look at his history in USL League One in particular, he's played every position in the front 6, let's call it, right? Anywhere in midfield, anywhere in the wing. He could play a false 9. He could play center forward. He could play whatever. But very experienced player, former teammate and friend of Louise Heel, and a very prolific player. He was basically Omaha's best player in 2024. Put the hurt on us more than a couple times. Was the MVP of the 3-0 win over Velocity FC in the 2024 League One Championship game. So, hey, if you can't beat them, make them join you, I think is the note we're going to take here. So
that's the name of the episode right there.
Yeah, totally. 91 appearances, 5,600 minutes played in League One for both Richmond and Omaha. He had 19 goals and 11 assists during that play. And that's just league play, by the way. It doesn't include whatever he did in the Jägermeister Cup or the Open Cup. But yeah, much more to come on the anything happening with 2026 Velocity FC. That's not the purpose of this particular episode, but we couldn't not announce the signing of Joe Gallardo. So again, not a like for like with Pierre Reedy, but we'll probably play opposite Siobhan John Brown. I would expect, here we go. I just can't help myself.
I was going to say, we're not going to talk about
we're not going to do
it.
But if I were to start, if I was to look at a starting 11 next year, I think that, first of all, Joe Gallardo would be a nailed on starter. He will be on the team sheet and probably play on the left is my guess, with Siobhan John Brown on the right. Who knows? Maybe Lee Wiedemann will surprise us all and change his formation. Any other further thoughts about Velocity FC before we take a break?
Shout out San Diego Nomads for producing Joe Gallardo.
Oh,
San Diego boy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did you know him? Did you know anything about him before?
I know that he played with Albert Navarrete, who was Kenny's coach when Kenny went from U12 soccer 9v9 to U13.
Okay.
So he just sent me a text saying some nice stuff about him. So welcome, Joe.
Amazing. Let's take one more quick break. When we return, we have a very special announcement. The Spokane Soccer Show is proudly supported by Wildland Co-op, but they are closed until the spring. So I don't really have anything to say other than, of course, we're going to work on another beer that we'll do together in some type of collaboration. We went from Double Pivot Pub Ale to Las Chivas Lager to, I don't know yet. But it's going to be fun.
Getting your own beer is fun.
Getting your own beer is fun.
I've had a couple of brewed for trivia. And it's
delish.
Makes you feel way cooler than you are.
It is so delish. I love you, Wildland, and we will be back with an announcement of the things we plan to do in 2026 soon enough. And I want to make a special announcement because the Spokane Soccer Show, since day one, has been proudly supported by Feast World Kitchen. And I want to read something that was written by their co-executive director, great friend of the podcast, and a great personal friend of mine, Ross Carper. Here's what he had to say to close out 2025. If we had to pick one word to describe 2025, it would be solidarity. This year hasn't been an easy one for communities of people that we work with, which includes hundreds of folks from all over the world who are working hard to create a better life for their families and to contribute to our Spokane community. Solidarity means making sure everyone knows their rights during confusing and fearful times. It means showing up at a Spokane Valley City Council meeting when an elected official says that she's a proud Islamophobe and that there is no place for Muslims in her community. It means sitting with people who are most affected by changing policies and freshly emboldened racism. It means participating in countless gatherings, usually over wonderful food, where we create space for conversation and friendship that crosses would-be barriers. Most recently, it has meant interfaith and counsel on American Islamic relations gatherings, sharing dialogue with Afghan neighbors who are now seeing how the violence of one person is being used to do violence to many thousands of innocent people, many of whom have risked their lives serving side by side with American armed forces. When we started Feast World Kitchen in 2019, we knew it would be far more than a place for people to make money selling unique cultural food. But we may not have known just how deeply needed this network of mutual hospitality and support would become for so many. We're humbled and thankful for another year. And if you are able, please join us in solidarity so we can go even further in relationship alongside all our immigrant and refugee neighbors. We know we've asked a lot lately at our fundraising events, but if you're able to add a year-end gift at feastworldkitchen.org/donate, we would be so grateful. Here is to 2026 and to never stopping until Spokane is truly for everyone. Love you, Ross. Love you, Feast World Kitchen. Please go to feastworldkitchen.org/donate and contribute as much as you can to keep that incredible organization in our community forever.
Wait, this podcast cares about people?
We care about everybody.
I'm out.
We even care about you, Mike Duke.
Ooh, how about that?
I even care about Mike Policio, which on 6 out of 7 days is not easy.
No, it's not.
Jeez. All right. Enough.
Just get shit on.
Enough
every day,
banter.
Mike, this is my life.
I love you so much, Mike.
I choose to be here once every 2 weeks.
You are my boy. And I love you, boo. I love you. It's time. You ready? Drum roll. It's time to announce the 2025 Spokane Soccer Show Player of the Year. Last year, I kind of did this last minute, and it was actually a week into 2026 when I made the announcement. I was at home by myself. It was sad. Not this year. Down to the wire, but we're going to have this out by no later than New Year's Day. I'm feeling kind of nervous. Got some butterflies going here. Drum roll, if you please. The 2025 Spokane Soccer Show Player of the Year. Players of the Year.
Oh, good correction.
Carlos Marancio, Hope Heisey, step right up, accept your award. We couldn't possibly just pick one.
Couple of keepers cutting it up.
Oh, these keepers. What would we do without them? I'm going to start by talking a little bit about Carlos Marancio. Second in League One with 77 saves in 2025. Second in League One with save percentage at 72%. Tied for second in League One with 10 clean sheets. Named to the second team All-League, which should have been first in my view, especially when you consider what he did in the playoffs. Playoffs?
Do those awards take into consideration playoff, or are they like all other major sports?
That's a great question. On Spokane Soccer Show, we do whatever the hell we want. Back-to-back penalty shootout wins against South Georgia Tormenta. He was the first with South Georgia Tormenta. He was the last player involved in our 120-48, if you know, you know, win, when he dove to his right not once but twice to make 2 incredible saves and tore the hearts out of Portland. Carlos Marancio. Mike Policio, the floor is yours. Talk to us about Carlos.
It's tough when you lose your starting position.
Dude.
Like he did last year. It's tough to want to keep going, to not, retire or take offense to it or down tools. He did none of those things.
No, he didn't.
He just supported Brooks Thompson, who was excellent for us.
Yep.
And then got back to earning a spot back. And all the while being like a massive fan favorite, treating kids in the stands like they matter, which they do, but not everyone treats kids like they matter in the stands, right? Giving out gloves to our goalkeeper.
I was going to say, I'll step on that a little bit. Sorry to interrupt, but we went as a program with my boys team Rogers boys went, and Velocity had us out to watch a training session. We sat right on the pitch, watched the whole training session. Carlos was the first guy out. And not only was he the first guy out to start warming up or whatever, came right over and dapped up all my guys, which, again, you don't have to. You're going in, professional athletes are a different beast. They got to get their heads right because we got to train. We got to do all this. No, he knew what he had to do. He's the first one out there. Got to say hi to these kids. Then I'm going to go put in the work. And he did. And he had Rocky with him as well. And you can just see like the mentorship that he has with him. Great dude.
We all have the same observations about Carlos. Yeah. Like he is who he is, and he's like that all the time, and that's better than being good at soccer. So
he had this moment after the Portland Hearts of Pine victory when he tore the hearts out of Portland, and he walks over to the stand in one stadium and leads the chant of "Up the Falls." It was so sick. Oh my goodness, love the dude. He watched Brooks Thompson, like you said, he was the starter, lost his starting role. Brooks Thompson went on to have an incredibly successful run with Velocity FC, gets to a championship final, wins a penalty shootout, makes a decisive save in a penalty shootout against Forward Madison. Carlos is watching this. What does he do? He just shows up, does the work, waits for his opportunity to redeem himself. And by redeem himself, I just mean in terms of get your position back. This is not life and death. He didn't have to redeem anything. But as a professional athlete, this was a redemption story as a professional athlete. And he came into this year, look, we all know, people have the receipts, they can go back and play things that I said and use them against me. I had my doubts. I didn't know. How would he respond to that? And what did he do? Just all-league player, 2 penalty kick shootout wins where without Carlos, we don't go to a championship game, and he gets to a championship final himself. It's a remarkable narrative and just so deserved and such a badass. All right.
Sign him up.
Sign him up. Hope Heisey. This is the sentence for Hope. If we're going to make t-shirts, which we should, because we have hope, we have hope. The reigning USL Super League goalkeeper of the year. In the first year of the Super League, Hope led the league with 70 saves, tied for first in clean sheets with 9, was second in the league for goals against average, was named to the second team All-League in her first season with the club. Which
how do you win goalkeeper of the year?
Don't even get me started.
No, really, Benji, tell me. How do you do that?
Well, actually, it's because they go off of one metric, and they were honest about this, and we don't have to like it. And I think they will maybe change it for all their leagues, but every one of their leagues, it is save percentage against. That's it. It's goal save percentage. That's what they go by.
That for first team All-League?
Yeah. Or goals against average. I think it's just one metric for the first team. Yeah. For the first team and for the, what do they call it? The Golden Gloves or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Proving that last year was no accident, she currently leads the league again this year in saves with 51, which is 12 more than the next keeper on the list, Morgan Aquino from DC Power, who has 39. She is also tied for the league lead with 5 clean sheets. Do you know what? I'm missing a stat on here, which is a really crazy one. Her save percentage is like 77%. Or was for last year, which is crazy. But the first time I actually saw Hope Heisey play was against Gonzaga. She was playing for Arizona, lost 3-1. Goals for friends of the podcast, Gianna Riley and Marissa Garcia. Kelsey Euler assisted all 3 of those goals. So the first time I saw her play was in August of 2023. And then she ends up getting signed by Zephyr FC. And I was just kind of like, oh, interesting. That player that played for Arizona? I obviously did not know how special a player she is. She started her career, to your point, Mike, she was the backup to Izzy Nino. And I thought, if you look at the profile of like the height and the sort of like, you think of your classic prototypical goalkeeper, you're like, oh, well, Izzy Nino's going to keep that job forever. Well, Izzy had a couple stumbles in her first few starts for Zephyr FC and was replaced with Hope Heisey. I had no idea what to expect. And my God, she is like not only the best goalkeeper in the Super League, I think she's one of the best players in the Super League.
I think she's top 5 player in the league.
Dude.
And it's not even, I don't know how you debate it. To pat my own back or whatever. It's like she plays with a level of like joy that you just see that like not a lot of players, especially in goalkeepers, are crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that she plays with a smile on her face and is having fun, I think contributes to the fact that backs up her amazing stats that you just riddled off. Like she's always where she needs to be.
Yep.
And she's a force. The ball she plays out of the backfield.
She does play with a lot of joy. She has a great sense of humor. I can't wait to have Hope come on this podcast. That's my goal. My goal would actually have Hope and Carlos come on this podcast, and I'll get artwork printed up like I have for Chelsea Lee, the winner of the 2024 first ever Spokane Soccer Show Player of the Year. Both these teams simply don't sniff the success that they've had without these 2 players. So it made it easy for us. Congratulations, Hope Heisey and Carlos Marancio. We couldn't just pick one. The confidence that we have as supporters because of these goalkeepers, you can't overstate that. I go into that stadium and usually I'll get a photo or a video of our goalkeepers warming up when I first get to the stadium. And every time I just have this moment of just going, well, thank God we have them.
It's a good feeling to have that in your goalkeeper.
I know everybody is wanting news on Carlos re-signing for Velocity FC because that has not been announced. I will just say, be patient. This is just my reading tea leaves. This is not anything official. So if it doesn't prove, if I don't make an accurate prediction as to whether or not Carlos resigns with Velocity FC, don't hold it against me. This is just me kind of, again, reading the tea leaves. And I know some people in this world, and I think he's going to resign is my guess. And here's why. If there were an opportunity, he's not going to go anywhere else in League One. Okay. So then it's like, does Carlos warrant an opportunity to play in the championship? I would say yes, but I would say for that position in particular, it is brutally difficult to get a goalkeeping spot in the championship. Brooks Thompson had this incredible couple years with North Carolina and then with us, made a championship final, won the championship with North Carolina. Okay. Ends up the goalkeeper for Lexington SC. They just signed another goalkeeper and he's a stud. He's a North Carolina, a player that was, I think, loaned out from an MLS team. And it's like Brooks might end up being a backup, despite having a pretty good year for Lexington. So it's brutal. And I just expect at this particular timeline, if he was going to go to the championship, I would have expected it to already have been announced as far as the timeline of these things go. So I feel cautiously optimistic that Carlos is going to re-sign with Velocity FC.
He's been on his honeymoon for a month.
That's also
you
great.
You can't sign a contract in your business.
That's a very good point. And if I were his wife, I'd be like, no, put your phone down. We are not negotiating any kind of like contract while we're on our honeymoon. Okay, let's get to some Spokane Soccer Show New Year's resolutions. First time we're ever going to do this. Do you two have one? Start with you, Mike Duke, as the guest.
Oh, start with me. Okay.
Let's go. Come on.
Okay, it's supposed to be soccer related, right? So
yes.
My New Year's resolution is to be able to finally, after much talking about it, now that I've checked this off the list on the podcast, is to go support and be a staff member with the Inspire.
Oh, We have a volunteer. Let's go.
Mike and I have had many chats about it. Okay. And with the millions of things that we've already mentioned that I have going on, it hadn't really been a great time to do so. But some of those things are starting to wither away, and maybe my time will start to be a little more free. And
you are throwing your hat in the ring.
I would love
Mike and
to
Mike
do that.
It is official. The Spokane Impact has signed Mike Duke to a $0 a year contract.
Yes.
Let's go.
As an assistant coach. So, Mike, you'll fit in great.
Yeah.
In the program
I think it's going to be, I followed along, watched when I could, and just, through social media or whatever. I didn't really touch on it, but when I first started coaching, my first coaching gig was a unified team, which if you don't know what unified is, it's through Special Olympics. It's special ed kids with gen ed kids, and they make a team and we go. So I did that over on the west side, and then came over and was one of the unified coaches for Rogers. And we went to state, took third in state, which was a big deal, very fun. But I miss that relationship with a player. And I just think, going out with the Impact would be such a sweet gig.
You heard it here. We'll have Ryan Harnato come on the podcast, I think, to kick off 2026 at some point, and to talk a bit about the foundation that supports Spokane Impact, and to just catch up on Spokane Impact, and we can talk more about that then too. What about you, Mike Policio? Do you have a New Year's resolution?
No, not soccer related.
Okay, fine.
It's not soccer related at all, but
let's go.
Soccer players in my household will feel the impact of it.
Okay.
Every January, I take all the sugar in the house and I get rid of it.
Here we go.
And it's partially because I will eat it if it's there.
Yeah.
Partially because we have 3 soccer players and 2 soccer coaches in the household. So
got to keep them fit.
They don't know this yet.
Oh boy.
They don't watch the show.
Bob,
listen to the
freaking
show. Humbug.
This guy. What a New Year's resolution. I'm going to kill the sugar for my whole family.
Also,
you heard it here.
So unoriginal.
Jeez.
Mike.
I know. Totally.
I'm going to go on a diet.
I got a gym membership.
Yeah.
I'm going to get swole.
It's dry January.
I guess I won't share my second one.
Yeah, you're done. You suck.
I'm going to quit going on this show.
Hey.
And not come to trivia.
And not doing trivia.
Man alive.
He couldn't quit this if he wanted to. Megan, come on. We know better. All right. Well, I have a couple, and they're both soccer related.
All right.
I want to have more guests on the podcast. So I'm glad we're modeling it with this podcast to end 2025 by having Mike Duke here. Players, coaches, members of the community. I know it's something I need to be doing more of. Less yappity yap about minute by minute, play by play recall of games. I know I get a little tweaky, and I love to talk about all the little minutia. I could take some of the minutia out of the descriptions of these games and add members of the community, again, players, coaches, anybody, and just have more guests on the podcast. That's one. The second, which I've really sucked at, is to have Spokane Soccer Show swag. I know people ask me about hats, about t-shirts, about whatever. I've threatened to make a kit for the Spokane Soccer Show, whatever. I think it's cool. I'm proud of the brand that my friend Nick contributed, and I know that it would be fun to just get some more hats and t-shirts and so forth. So anyway, those are my 2.
I can help you with that. We'll talk.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yep, let's do it. Okay, that is going to do it for the final episode of 2025 for the Spokane Soccer Show. Thank you to our guest, Mike Duke. You can follow Mike on Instagram at bearded_trivia.
That's it.
And did you have
I brought
a little
gifts.
Oh,
I brought
me
gifts.
that.
I can't not. So
okay. Is that Miggy? Do I see Miggy?
Bearded trivia sticker.
I see Miggy.
I always have a card of a team that somebody supports.
Okay,
so you get that.
Give me that.
And then
Wait, hang on. For the listener who can't see this, I got a bearded trivia sticker, and I got a trading card.
Yeah, because we're grown-ups.
Of Miguel Almiron while he still played for my beloved Newcastle.
Yeah.
Miggy, I miss you.
Yeah, the decks were from a couple years ago.
Come back to me.
So sue me. And then I also brought you...
Jacob Murphy's played well in the absence of Miggy, so...
I brought you a Rogers letter with a soccer pin to add to your...
I would do to that, but I'll put it somewhere in the studio.
What are we talking about? Throw it up somewhere.
Yeah.
And then
let's put this up there for the...
Go Pirates. And then I didn't know who Mike supported. This was a blind guess. But I brought 3 Manchester United cards
No one cares about
for
that.
Mike. I just assumed, and I nailed it.
Manx scum.
Nailed it.
Manx
I got
scum.
Mason Mount,
Get it out of here.
Scott McTominay.
Hey,
If you're laughing at Scott McTominay,
I know. I was laughing
I
at
don't
Mason
know.
Mount. Yeah.
I don't know what you say to Andre Onana.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank
I
you,
didn't
Mike.
choose the
You
players.
just got
you know,
trolled,
you
dude.
just-
Although McTominay, Jesus, guy's like a Ballon d'Or winner.
Nominated.
Yeah, he's a stud. Until next time, please take a moment, okay, to end 2025. If you hurt my feelings all of 2025, stop it. Go to Apple, go to Spotify, YouTube, hit subscribe, hit follow. It doesn't cost anything. You're welcome to donate to the show if you'd like to. It's SpokaneSoccerShow.com/donate. But no, go to feastworldkitchen.org/donate first. You should also follow the show on Instagram. We upload all kinds of things there. Be sure to rate, review. It helps a lot more than you realize. If you've made it this far into the podcast, you probably are a sick person. Until next time, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Mike.
Thanks for having me. This is great. Yes.
We did it. 2025, we kicked your ass.
Kicked ours a little too. But that's
Yeah,
all
just a
right.
little
Oh,
bit.
God. 1, 2, 3.